Hey, what's up guys, it's Texmer talking to you here, and in this video I'm filming it on cinematic mode. And before I start into this topic, I want to talk about the fact that this is 1080p at 30 frames a second. Let me know how it looks. I want to know if I still need to film on this new mode from the iPhone 13 Pro Max, or do you think that the quality is low enough that justify me the fact that I will ditch this cinematic mode and I use the 4K 60 normal mode. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and while you're there, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. But in this video, I want to talk about the M1X MacBook Pros, the ones that are coming next month, and I want to compare them against the new iPad Pros update. So the M1X MacBook Pros will come with an M1X chip. This is a very powerful chip and it will enable a lot of things. But 2 weeks ago, Apple announced that the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max will be able to shoot on ProRes. So this means that the iPad would get ProRes support too, and we did it. Now guys, we have ProRes support on iPad, which makes it a pro editing machine now. You can edit on LumaFusion very well. I love LumaFusion. It's an amazing piece of software. I prefer LumaFusion to Final Cut because I'm used to it now. But once I get the M1X MacBook Pros, I will have to start working on Final Cut Pro. But in this video, I want to compare these two. We'll start the best, the M1X MacBook Pro with, I don't know, maybe a 16-inch, 14-inch spec'd out, or an iPad Pro spec'd out, which has 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, and a Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil. The prices are similar, and I think there's a lot of talk to go through, because these are two very interesting devices that need to be compared. But before I compare them, roll the intro. So, the M1X MacBook Pros are going to be redesigned. Quote, and a lot of other leakers like John Prosser and Mark Gurman mentioned the fact that the M1X MacBook Pro will be having a squared off corner with bigger mini LED displays. The 13-inch will be replaced with a 14-inch, and the 16-inch older device from Intel will be replaced with a 16-inch, would have mini LED, new I/O, and of course bigger and brighter displays. This is insane, and I love these new updates. But the M1X MacBook Pros will not only feature those hardware updates, but the M1X chip will bring a lot of new things to the table. Last 2 weeks, we saw the power of the A15 on the Pros. It has more than 50% of power in terms of GPU when compared to the A14. But imagine the 5-core GPUs that the A15 has on the Pros are 40% more powerful than the 4 cores that the A15 has on the normal phones. So imagine if with a 4-core to the 5-core you have a 40% jump. Right now we have an 8-core GPU on the M1. Imagine if we get a 16-core or even a 32-core on the M1X. The performance will be insane. I have a video on that here, and I think that it's very interesting to talk about the gains in terms of GPU. They will be focusing more on gains of GPU other than CPU, because don't forget that we are still using the A14 cores, not the A15, because this is an M1X, not an M2. Those will come out next year according to quote. But the M1X MacBook Pros will feature the M1X chip, will be just insane with the power that it has. It has macOS, of course, and it will be able to edit videos and music and photos on Final Cut Pro, have professional software and all of that. macOS, as you know. But there's another device that you can compare them. And no, it's not other Windows machines, it's the iPad Pro. With last week's update, the iPad Pro now is a MacBook Pro competition, because you can now edit ProRes video on it. So you can work with professional format video. This means that you can edit ProRes footage on LumaFusion, which means now that you can spend $2,000 on an iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard, Apple Pencil, and 2 terabytes and edit the same things that you could on an M1X computer. The thing is, you only have an M1. But if you want to compromise on that and have 120 Hz, Face ID, more portable, and of course sleeker in my opinion, I would go for the iPad Pro. In my opinion, the iPad Pro still has better hardware than the M1X computers, although they will be redesigned and they will have a new display. The M1 iPad Pro just looks insane. It's just thin bezels, and it's very beautiful to hold. It's, for me, the future of devices. And I think that Apple thinks that too. They are slowly killing the Mac lineup by giving the iPad Pro new features, but they are doing it very slowly, year by year. So I think that right now the M1 iPad finally reached its level that you can compare it to the more professional MacBook Pros. So if you are a student, or if you are a lesser pro than usual, I completely agree that if you want an iPad Pro, you should get it. There's no way you could not work with an iPad Pro. It has 120 Hz Face ID, it does PowerPoint, Word just fine, and it edits 4K 60 footage just fine. The M1 is just fine for what you want to do on an iPad or a powerful computer nonetheless. But if you are a very, very professional on the terms of the word, like you work with very specific software or you do a lot of specific type of formats, I believe that the MacBook Pro with the M1X chip is the choice for you. I believe that the iPad is still very limited with the choices of formats and applications and software you can use is still very limited by iPad OS. If you got Mac OS on iPad, then it wouldn't be an iPad, it would be a Mac. So do not think of that. But of course, there's a lot of people that want still the 120 Hz and mini LED display and Face ID on a Mac, and I want that too. But you can't have it all, you have to make compromises. So if you are a very professional person, to say the least, go for the MacBook Pro. If you are a professional, you want to work on professional stuff, but you don't need the most powerful computer, most powerful GPU, most powerful processor, go for the iPad if you want to have 120 Hz and I don't know, maybe Face ID and a smaller, sleeker design. And that design makes a difference, let me tell you. So let me know in the comments down below which computer would you get. Don't forget that the M1X MacBook Pros will come out next month on October 12th or October 19th, we are not sure. So right now I would wait, not either buy the iPad Pro 2021 or buy any of the other professional machines that Apple sells right now, which are the 13-inch high-end MacBook Pro and the 16-inch. Those definitely do not buy. They will be killed in less than 1 month. So what are your opinions? Leave them on the comments down below. Are you going for the iPad Pro with mini LED display now that it has ProRes support, or are you going to wait and get the M1X MacBook Pros? For me, I will get the M1X MacBook Pros. I have a 2018 iPad Pro and I will use it with my M1X MacBook Pros side by side, and I just can't wait to do with that with the new Mac OS. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and of course follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This was Tech Summer talking to you here. Bye.